What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Tay Love, and thank you for tuning in again. And if you are about to get locks, if you're thinking about getting locks, watch this video. Yo, what is up? We are going to talk about starting out your dreadlocks. A lot of people want to start their dreadlocks. They see videos and pictures with people with dreadlocks. They may see a celebrity with dreadlocks. They may have family members that have dreadlocks, but they actually don't know where to start when you want to get your dreadlocks. And there's a lot of key things you should think about before you get your locks, because there were things that I didn't think about. There's things that I know other people who didn't think about this when they got their locks, and there's changes they wanted to make later on that they're just like, man, I wish I would have did this, or I wish I would have did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give y'all a few little things that y'all can do. It's probably even more. I'm probably missing out some on this list. So if you do, get in the comment section and make sure y'all share all y'all's tips with everybody. So all the newbies that see it who want to get locks, they know exactly what they need to do. But let's start by this first one. And this is like one of the top ones that you really need to think about. What type of locks do you want? There are all kinds of styles of locks. You got sister locks, you got brother locks, you got freeform, you got wicks, you got interlocking, you have coin coils, you have all these styles of locks, and you have to figure out which style of lock do you want. And you need to go do your research. You need to go watch some videos. You need to go look at some pictures on Google, get on Pinterest, whatever you got to do to go and do your research to figure out what style do you want. And once you figure out that style, the next thing you're going to want to do is figure out what's the size of the locks that you want. Because having the right size is very important, because you may think that your locks are going to be super thick and you want them to be super thick, but then you may do it and it may get too thick, and there may be some styles that you actually can't do later on because they're so thick. For instance, my daughter has thicker locks. They're thicker than mine. They look beautiful, by the way. But with her locks, it's kind of hard for her to do some of the things she wanted to do with her locks. Like, she wanted to add in braids and stuff to her locks and add in little plaques and stuff like that with some weave and do all that. But her locks are so thick and she has so many of them that it kind of messes her up to do that. So it look too thick and bushy, so it won't look just as right. So thinking about those sizing is going to be very important, because you never know what styles that you want to do later on. So you want to make sure that it's the right size so that you can do the styles that you dream about doing or you see other people doing. You need to pay attention to that thing. The best thing that I did was I went and looked at YouTube journeys, and I was like, I really want my locks like that. And as I was looking at it, I was like, okay, they got around this many locks, or they have these size locks, and you will go in to your loctician and say, hey, this is the size that I'm going for. So at least you can get as close as you can. You're not going to get exactly accurate to the person that you see, because unless you see them in person, you can't really tell exactly how somebody's locks are. But I would suggest really figuring out that size, because size is very important when it comes to your locks. My size, or I was call them like the medium size locks. They're not too big, they're not too small, but they're, for me, they're just right. So I don't know if it's just right for somebody else, but a lot of people always say, hey, I want your size of locks. How many locks you got? I can't really ask that question because it's been so long and I didn't lost so many locks, but I think I started around like 105 or something like that with my locks, maybe a little bit more, maybe 110 max. But I would suggest really getting with your loctician, and when they start your comb coils, look at the size of your locks and see how many you have, and see, you know, what it looks like it's going to be, you know, because those parts and everything are going to really show exactly what kind of size you're going to be getting close to. So you want to get with a loctician that is, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I haven't even got to the loctician part, but you want to make sure your loctician knows what they're doing so they can tell you the exact size that you're going to need for the goal that you want. The other piece, I mentioned this, but I didn't go into detail with this. The other piece is your parts. Parts are so important. You have different styles of parts. You have your square parts, you have your triangle parts, you have your diamond parts, you have all these styles apart, but they're very important on which ones you want to get. Me personally, I would suggest getting the basic square parts, the normal parts. I wouldn't do the diamond and the triangle parts, just because when you start to get those retwisted, it takes a little longer because you actually got to part them in the diamond and all that, compared to the squares that are a little bit more quicker. But no lie, the diamond parts and the square parts, they actually look pretty dope, and it's like a style when you have your retwist because your parts are a certain way. But I always suggest don't do that because it becomes a headache. Because if you decide to do this yourself and you start retwisting your own hair, you have to think about, you got to part that. And if you want them to look good still, you got to part it correctly. And if you have all these crazy diamond parts everywhere, it's going to take you a while. And it's going to get frustrated doing it, and you're not going to really want to be dealing with it anymore. Then you're going to have to go back to a loctician, and if your bread ain't right, after a while that gets expensive and you're going to get tired of doing that. So I would suggest go with the square, if anything, but still go and do your research. You might like the triangle parts, and you want to go through all that, or you want to go through the diamond parts. Like, it's up to you. It's your hair, it's your locks, it's what you're going to experience, and it's part of your journey. But you decide that. I'm only going to give my suggestions. That's the only way I'm going to do it. That's it. The next piece, and this is crucial because if you don't get this right, you can start off terribly, and that is picking the right loctician. You want a loctician who knows what they're talking about, who's good with products, who understands locks, rather if they have their own or they have family members that they've been doing it for years. But you need somebody with experience. You don't want to just get anybody to do your locks, because you can start your locks off damage off top, because you can use the wrong gels, you can use the wrong products off top and already gain this buildup on your locks ahead of time before you can even get the journey started. Then you already got damage to your locks before you can even get to the fun part. So I would suggest using the right loctician, finding one, and the biggest thing is to stay dedicated to that loctician, because during your journey, especially in your first year, as you're starting to lock up, you want some consistency. You want to make sure that every single time you get your locks done is consistent. You get on a schedule, rather if it's once a month that you're doing, every 2 months. I would suggest once a month getting your locks twisted. If you do, when I first started, I did every 2 weeks. But when I started my son's locks, we did once a month. And as we did that, his hair actually started to lock faster. So I would suggest doing that, unless you're like working out all the time or something and you're sweating a lot and you gotta wash your hair and things like that. I would suggest then doing every 2 weeks starting out, but do it once a month. But get that on a schedule with your loctician so you can constantly be going, because you want to be making sure you're consistent with getting your locks done and twisted and washed and maintained, so you can make sure you have the best healthy locks. And a loctician is the one that's going to make that happen for you. So if you're getting interlocks, make sure you get somebody with experience, because I told y'all about my experience with interlocks. I had a bad experience and it damaged my locks. So get with somebody who knows what they're doing, who's not going to put them too tight, who's not going to put damage to your scalp or your hair. The next piece is making sure you have what you need for when you do start your locks. Make sure you have your oils that you're going to be using. If you're going to be using any type of mist like rose water or anything like that to spray on your hair to keep it moisturized, make sure you have those things. And most definitely want to make sure you have a do-rag, lock sock, or a bonnet to sleep with. You need to be sleeping with your hair wrapped. You don't need to be going to sleep without your hair wrapped. Later on, you can do those things because your hair's locked. It's already maintained. You don't have to worry about that. You can put your hair in a ponytail or let it do what it do, because I do that now. I can tell you now, I don't even know where my lock sock is actually right now. So I just been, putting it in a ponytail and go to sleep. But as you're growing your locks and you're trying to maintain them and have the most healthiest locks, you want to make sure that you have them wrapped at night, because at nighttime you're tossing, you're turning, you're moving. And if you're starting out, especially starting out, man, them boys will start going everywhere. You had the little twigs just sticking and doing all that. So you want to make sure that you got them boys wrapped up at night, because it's going to be very important for your journey, as well as maintaining your retwist. Because if you just got a retwist, I used to put my do-rag on and my retwist will last for so long because I have it wrapped up. So it ain't moving and ain't going going nowhere. It stay maintained. It stays slicked down how it need to be. But make sure that you're wrapping it because it's going to be important. Because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in a bad spot. Rather, if your locks are going to be unraveling, if they're not locked up yet, your locks are going to be all over the place, which is when you start trying to go somewhere, they're going to be looking crazy because they haven't really started to fall yet. So they're kind of just going to be all over the place and you're going to look crazy because you have these things just sticking up like crazy. So I would suggest wrapping your hair up at night to make sure you can maintain them in the proper way. Now, I mentioned this in the things that you need, the oils and the mist and all those types of things, but you want to make sure that you test out this because I had a bad experience with all different oils. I have sensitive scalp and the oils that I was using was just frankly just irritating my scalp and I'd be scratching like crazy and had to wash it all the time. So my retwist wasn't maintaining. So try to make sure you go and test stuff out. If you don't know what works for your scalp, test out some oils ahead of time and see what works. I would even do it before you even get your locks and start putting some oils in your hair and see what feels good on your scalp. What can you maintain without it getting dry and all those types of things ahead of time. So when you do start your locks, you already know what oils that you're going to be using, that you can even tell your loctician that, hey, I have to use this oil because this is the best oil for my scalp. So you want to be able to do those types of things. Same thing with shampoos, same things with your lock mist, your rose water mist and all those types of things that you're going to be, all the products that you're going to be using on your hair. Make sure you test those things out to see if they're going to bother your scalp before you fully go into your journey. You may go get go get some comb coils just to start off and see if you like the size, see if you like the product, all those types of things on that first month and see if you really like it. And if you do, keep them boys twisting, keep it rolling. But if you don't, make sure you can go ahead and make those changes and change your products and things like that just to find the right products. But I would suggest once you find a product that works for you, stick to it. Don't get off of it. Don't be all over your place with your products. Don't be a product hoarder, because I did do that and I had all kinds of products and I was trying this product, that product, that product, that product, and I just kept changing my product. And eventually I just stopped and was like, I'm just going to stay locked into my plan and my regimen and just make sure it's consistent. Last few things, this is just basic health, guys. Like, drink water. Drink lots of water, get exercise, make sure you're eating properly, make sure you're eating good, because your health helps your locks. That's one of the biggest things, is make sure you have healthy locks. You need to be healthy as well. So you need to be eating good. You need to make sure you're drinking your water. You need to make sure you're exercising. Don't get lazy and things like that, because sometimes the locks ain't gonna do what they need to do. And a lot of people always ask, like, how do I get these healthy locks? Some of it's genetics, some of it's just being healthy, and some of it's just luck, to be honest with you. Some people just luck up on some good locks. But if you want to make sure that you have a great start to having healthy locks, make sure you maintain your health and make sure your health is underway whenever you're going through this journey, because it is a journey. So make sure you understand that this is a complete journey that's going to take you through seasons of up and downs, good and bad, and you have to stick it out if you want to keep your locks. So that's what I got for y'all. If y'all are starting out, I hope this helps y'all. I hope I gave you enough. If you have any questions, make sure you hit me in the comments. You can hit me up on IG and DM me. I don't mind hitting y'all up. But y'all make sure y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you know when I'm coming. But yeah, y'all know what it is. Stay blessed, stay locked. It's your boy, Mr. Tay Love. Hey yo, if you enjoyed that video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you can stay updated with my latest videos. And make sure you turn your notifications on so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Y'all know what it is. Stay blessed, stay locked. It's your boy, Mr. Tay Love.